After chanting a few mantras on beads on my hotel rooftop, I hop on the 12-passenger four-wheel drive taxi. This is pretty much the only way tourists and most residents are advised to make the 4-hour journey to Gangtok. If you're scared when your driver is speeding down the mountain, you'll find doing it on a wet road even scarier. My prayers must have been heard. The road is dry again within the first hour. Driving through the thick forests, we eventually answer the call of nature. What a spectacle! Has anyone ever designed such elegantly straight trees, reaching to the sky? I next contemplate the scenic tea plantations bordering the road mile after mile. It's a smooth ride till we reach the border. Strange as this may sound, though Sikkim is Indian territory, no foreigner is allowed in it without a permit. With a little patience, you'll soon be welcomed by Lord Shiva on this poster. We arrive in Gangtok, the capital of Sikkim. At 1,565 meters above sea level, Gangtok is somewhat lower than Darjeeling. Both enjoy a year-round temperate climate with both occasional snowfalls in winter. Gangtok is a premier tourist spot. And also a religious center replete with Hindu temples and Buddhist monasteries. I checked in at a hotel with spectacular mountain scenery. Mount Kanchenjunga, who's worshipped as the guardian deity of Sikkim, will take your breath away just by gazing at it from here. It appears with a row of black peaks, offsetting its own snow-clad range. What a feeling! I am of course reminded of Krishna's words in the Bhagavad Gita. Of the highest mountains on earth, I am the Himalayas. Unquote. Maybe just on this occasion, Krishna, whose complexion is traditionally blackish, has incarnated in this big white mount, while his consort Radha, who is traditionally very fair, appears here as a blackish, smaller mount right next to her beloved. Nothing more than my own poetic vision. Less impressive, perhaps, but still noteworthy, is Sikkim's hexagonal Parliament House on the left of my viewpoint. Up to 1975, Sikkim was an independent kingdom ruled by a royal family. Palden Namgyal, here with his queen and daughter, was the last king to reign in Sikkim. Today I'm on my way to Rumtek, a small village whose name has become famous on account of an ancient monastery of repute there. Although not a Buddhist, I came to Sikkim partly to meet Tibetan lamas because of my general interest in monastic life. Rumtek is perched on the hill immediately opposite Gangtok, some 25 kilometers by road. After my first night in Rumtek, I wake up to yet another stunning panorama. The misty mountains, ever so slowly revealing themselves to my eye, I am able to behold the entire city of Gangtok down below. This spot is where only yesterday I was admiring the very hill where I am now standing. My accommodation is inside a large temple and educational complex dating back to the 16th century. When Tibet became part of China in the mid-1960s, the Dalai Lama fled to Dharmashala. The other prominent school of Tibetan Buddhism is this one, by the name of Karma Kagyu, and Rumtek is their seat in exile. I missed the first puja at dawn. The next one is at 10 a.m. in the main temple hall. I meet Nilmal Gempo, a resident Lama who speaks fluent English. Are you a student in the monastery?
Yes, this is my 8th year.
All the students go to the institute?
You know, some of them, they live in a monastery where they learn ritual, whereas those monks who live in the institute, they are more into learning philosophical studies. At a very young age, you know, some monks, they are being sent to monastery school.
Oh, there is another school?
Yep. The school is for both monks and lay children.
All right, but the institute is only for monks?
Yeah, the institute is only for monks.
And from what age does the institute enroll?
At the age of 16, we have to undergo a course of 11 years.
And you yourself, you've been a student for how many years?
This is my 8th year as an student, and I still have 3 more years to get a graduation.
So let's suppose you decide that maybe you don't want to be a monk for your whole life. Is that an option?
If I fail to remain as a monk, I still have an option to get back to conventional society and start a normal life where I can work also.
Prayer wheels are revolving cylinders containing the written mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, or any other prayer. Spinning a prayer wheel gives one the benefit of reciting the mantra for each revolution of the wheel. This would explain people's eagerness to spin away more mantras and more quickly than by reciting them. What qualification would this graduation give you?
After 11 years course is completed, everyone is conferred Acharya degree, which is equivalent to master's degree. After leaving this institute, you know, with this degree, we can work as a teacher in Tibetan grammar, Sanskrit, English also, and if the monk has been to that school, he can also get a job.
You mean the other school with the lay children?
Yeah, he can also get a job in connection with the subject he has learned.
Now I am staying in a hotel down the hill where monks come in the cafeteria and they are allowed to watch television. There is also an internet cafe in the village. They are allowed to play games. Isn't this going to be a distraction perhaps?
I don't think so, because the time allowance is very short compared to the time allowance in the monastery. So they have to have some time to spend around, because it is important for them to be informed of what is going out there.
I hear the ceremony going on with those awesome instruments. Now, what would you say is the ultimate destination of the Buddhist?
The ultimate goal of art is to attain enlightenment, that is Buddhahood. We do believe in rebirth also. We have to undergo cycles of rebirth. But once you are enlightened, that means you don't need to take rebirth in this samsara again.
Although an enlightened Lama is no longer required to take human birth, he may choose to do so, I'm told, like this young Lama did. According to his religious authorities, the boy was identified to be a reincarnation of a recently departed great teacher. During our short exchange, I found him to be a modest and gentle soul. This is morning breakfast.
Yeah.
How many years have you been here?
7 years.
And
I have been here.
Is this the life you want? You don't want to marry, you want to be a monk the whole life?
Yeah.
What do you like so much about it?
To study.
How many years have you been here?
I'm just new here.
Oh, you're new?
7 months.
7 months. And what do you want to do later?
Just be monk.
You want to be a monk? If a nice girl comes to you and say, I want you to be my husband.
But I don't.
My guide takes me on a tour of the premises.
This is Om Mani Padme Hum. Ready?
Om Mani Padme Hum.
And
This is the Buddhist Maha Mantra, their great mantra for deliverance. It is commonly engraved on a stone or a giant wall, which is called Chintamani, a touchstone. The mantra contains the essence of Buddha's teachings and can be translated as all glories to you, O lotus jewel. Walking back downhill, I come across a young lady resident whose presence on these monastic grounds, to my surprise, does not seem to distract the lamas. They are too absorbed, I think. Good. Are you going to school or are you working?
completed my graduation,
Oh, in what field?
business, commerce.
So you're going to do business here in the monastery?
No, I'm just taking break from like.
Oh, okay, all right. Are you religious? You're going to the pujas?
Yeah.
So this you enjoy the atmosphere,
Yeah, very nice, like very peaceful.
and
I
you're
prefer like staying here more than like
Uh-huh.
summers.
My guide Tutsi invites me to his personal room, just to be hospitable. So this is your room, and this is
Karmapa,
the current Karmapa.
17 Karmapa.
How many live in this room?
This room have
Two monks.
two monks.
Now, every room has two monks,
No, they have some rooms have 2 and 3 and 4,
but not one.
not one.
Hello, sir. Are you a pilgrim, a visitor?
Yeah. I'm from northeast of India. I'm from Assam. It's a famous monastery. It's a very, very old monastery. We have a talk show called Kaun Banega Crorepati in India, where this particular monastery has been described. So I had a long time desire to visit this place. That's why I have come here.
This is a stupa, a shrine containing Buddhist relics, typically the ashes of departed monks. It's a place for meditation, an equivalent to the Hindu Samadhi Mandir, which also contains the body, the ashes, and relics of departed saints. I noticed the monks' concern not only for sanctity, but about using natural energy. Solar-powered hot water and street lighting has been and is being installed. At what time did you wake up today?
Today, 5 o'clock.
Every day?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
One by one, the monks trickle into the Institute's temple hall. I request a booklet of prayers with English translation, with which I may follow some of the service. The 3 Skanda Sutra is a list of ritual prayers. The opening mantras are about taking refuge in 4 things: in the Guru, in the Buddha, in Dharma, that's doing good, and in Sangha, which means to live in a religious community. Then there is a series of We Bow To prayers, which is humbling oneself to a variety of divine forms or afterlife deities. I notice that the prayers, if not the divine names, are similar to those of the Christians, the Muslims, the Hindus, and followers of other mainstream traditions, as far as the mood of humble submission goes. Some teachings present God as an impersonal absolute. Others describe him as personal, but without a visible body. Jesus Christ, on the other hand, was said to ascend to heaven in a glorified body, to take his place at the right hand of God the Father, where his followers are to join him after Judgment Day. In the tradition I belong to, Lord Krishna is also seen in his eternal spiritual form and almost always in the company of his beloved female counterpart, Srimati Radha Rani. These are no idols, and their beauty, it must be said, is only perceived with the eyes of the soul. In stark contrast with faith in God, many Buddhists don't even mention God. They prefer to stress on Buddhahood, a state of enlightenment which anyone can attain through practice. Yet, many Buddhists do worship Buddha as the Supreme Lord. Again, in Sri Bhaktivinoda's words, the Buddhist doctrine of extinction has been gradually transformed by its followers into the natural human faith in a supreme being. Is faith in God part of human nature? I wonder. Is there anything that's common to all faiths? I say yes. Places of worship. Whether you call them a temple, a mosque, a church, or a synagogue, all are places for prayer, for meditation, and for offering something, even oneself. I keep hearing about Changghu Lake. It's a glacial lake lying near about 4,000 meters above sea level, right on the Chinese border. The mountains at the very back of this view are in China itself. I decided to embark on a slightly dangerous adventure ride to Lake Changghu. There are 3 sacred lakes around Gangtok, and Changghu is the most popular, despite the difficult access to it by road. Especially since the great earthquake of 2011 that devastated parts of Sikkim, Bhutan, Nepal and South Tibet. This Himalayan earthquake occurred a mere 50 kilometers away, just 30 miles. It had a magnitude of 6.9, with its epicenter exactly at the base of Mount Kanchenjunga. The 3rd highest peak on Earth shook heavily under the tremor, while standing directly high above it. 2 years later, the road is still in the process of recovery. Massive repair work with heavy machinery has been ongoing, although much remains to be done before the road is back to its pre-quake condition. I think I preferred the damaged road. Here I must rebuke the driver every few minutes for speeding, and end up imploring him to slow down. At the next break, thank God, I can relax, breathing in the mountain air and hearing streams trickling down. Add these prayer wheels, the scent of herbs, and all my stress is gone. But not for long. By the look of it, severe earthquake damage lies on the road ahead. You can't prepare for the anxiety that riding on this track puts you into. The first thing is getting used to having no roadside pillar or fence between you and the abyss. Above 3,000 meters, we seem to have reached the Tibetan plateau, because the high cliffs and the stress are now behind us. In the center of this view, the road winds its way to our destination. This is Changghu Lake, practically on the border. Behind this peak, India stops and China begins. Finally, we've arrived in Changghu Lake, held sacred in Sikkim by both the Buddhists and the Hindus alike. This one presided over by Lord Shiva. What strikes the most upon arriving here is the otherworldly silence, the stillness. Temperatures dropped almost 10 degrees. I've had to put on trousers and something warm to wear. Another thing, you can't walk more than a few steps without feeling out of breath, which is not surprising, 3,000 meters in altitude. The first creature I came across at the lake is a yak. A yak is a long-haired bovine found throughout the Himalayas and the Tibetan plateau. Most yaks are domesticated and are used to carry people and goods. They can weigh up to 1,000 kilos in the wild. That's over 2,000 pounds. Unfortunately, today's wild population is a critically endangered species. Someone told me I must bring a woolly hat, which I almost didn't.
Namami Yamunamaham Sakala Siddhi Hetu Muda Murari Pada Pankaja Spurada Mandarenu Kadam Tatatstana Vakanana Ragatamoda Pushkamuna Sura Sura Subhujita Smaripitu Shriyam Devrati Kalinda Girimastake Padadamanda Purajala.
Before climbing down the mountains, our team was able to catch on camera rare images of this fearsome beast, a superb Asian black bear. I found that they live across much of the Himalayas. They are, however, classed as a vulnerable species due to deforestation and hunting for their body parts. Though largely herbivorous, Asian black bears can be very aggressive toward humans. Don't be fooled by their teddy bear-like appearance. Asian black bears have frequently attacked people, even without provocation. Thanks for coming along this trip. It was good to have someone to share it with.